And wherever you want to talk sports.
Now it's time for Monty in the Morning.
Hey, yo, man. How the heck are you? Tuesday, December 7th, 2021. My guy, there's 24 days left in the year.
Yeah, bro. Yep.
Already. How the heck are you, Jake? Good morning. It's day 2 of 4:30.
Yeah, day 2 of 4:30, seriously.
We got a lot to get to today. The Jazz are about to open up a 3-game road trip, if you will, because, I mean, they got so much time off between Cleveland and Minnesota. But whatever. They're about to open up this 3-game trip. Need to talk a little NBA. Saw something out of Meyer and we, the greatest team in the history of the NBA last night.
The Chicago Bears.
That's right.
Sorry.
Obama. Break. We're going to talk about Del Taco.
Del.
Be honest. When's the last time you ate at Del Taco?
It's been years.
But you have eaten at Del Taco?
Once.
Okay.
Once.
Okay. I actually don't remember the last time I know I have. And here's the worst part. You know the best thing at Del Taco?
Fries.
Their French fries.
Yeah, dude.
Are easily the best item that Del Taco sells.
They're not. Everyone's like, oh, well, it's Del Taco. It's a Mexican food place. No, it's not.
No, actually.
No, it's actually not.
No. Del Taco or Taco Bell? Taco Bell.
I mean, I haven't had enough Del Taco in my life to compare.
It's Taco Bell.
Okay, Taco Bell, fine.
See, and you call yourself a fat person.
I mean, they don't even have Mexican pizzas anymore, so what good is it?
Yeah, hugely disappointing. So we'll talk fast food, because by the way, Jack in the Box bought Del Taco.
Bro, there's a Jack in the Box on Hawaii in Maui, and there's not one in Salt Lake City. How's that even possible?
By the way, did you see what's going on in Hawaii with the weather?
Yeah, it's not good, dude. We get out just in time.
Literally, the day after we left Maui, all hell broke loose. Like floods, torrential downpours. Like I feel terrible for what's going on in Hawaii. But let's start the show talking about Kalani Sitake. Kalani Sitake. The head coach of your BYU Cougars. Another big job, another request to interview Kalani Sitake, as the Oregon Ducks have asked for permission to talk to Sitake about their vacant head coaching position now that idiot Mario Cristobal,
what an idiot,
has decided to go back to Miami to coach the Hurricanes. Jake, this goes back to the old Gordon Hayward conversation that we seemingly always have.
Yes.
Why has BYU not gotten a deal done? We reported over a month ago now, and it's been about 3.5 weeks, I guess I should say, so not over a month ago. 3.5 weeks ago, we reported that BYU and Kalani Sitake were engaged in talks to alter his contract, not extend. They wanted to alter his contract so that he had more security for his assistants and that BYU could get him off the coaching carousel. And that the holdup was the buyout language. If Kalani Sitake decided he wanted to leave or BYU wanted him to leave. And shockingly enough, it sounds like, based on what Tom Holmoe said yesterday, Jake, we nailed it.
Yeah, I agree completely.
We are in conversations with Kalani at this point in time, and he's our coach. We want him for a long time, and good things are going to happen in the near future.
Can't say more succinctly than that. They want him there. They're trying to get it done. Like I think the problem is that there's a difference between trying to get it done and it actually being done. So until it's actually done, we get to hear about, well, Kalani's going to go to SC or Kalani's going to go to Oregon or Kalani's going to go here or there or otherwise. And I get that for BYU fans, this is probably a tired conversation, but I think that Kalani is coveted. I mean, Kalani has shown his value. He's shown his worth. He's proven himself time and time again. And I just think that if you're BYU, you can't allow Kalani to stay in this situation. It is not his fault that he's coveted. He's done a good job. So I just think if you're BYU, the sooner you get this done, the better. And frankly, every day that goes by, and they're not done, should be concerning if you're a BYU fan. I mean, you have a lot in front of you. I mean, think about it. We're not in a situation where this program is just going to continue to be an independent. Those times are gone. So it's not just like, the same thing next year and the year after and the year after that. You're heading into the Big 12. You've had several good seasons now. You're building. You're climbing the national ranks and perspective. You're getting more respect out of the committee, even though this year it didn't work out for you. So my point is there's a lot on the line for BYU. And I just think they need to be as aggressive as possible with this and get it done, because once it's done, now we can kind of slingshot forward and start talking about recruiting and NIL deals and all this good stuff. But until that's finished, I'm just telling you guys, they can't move forward yet.
Well, and I think, again, the reason this is not done already is because I think Kalani Sitake is not necessarily looking for, a new deal that secures himself. I think there's a lot more at play than just Kalani Sitake staying at BYU. And I think one of the things that's so interesting is the appeal of BYU versus a big job like Oregon, because Oregon, by any measure, is a big job. And if you look at, what Utah did this year, one of the reasons it was so significant is they went through Oregon to get there, right? The Utah Utes are going to the Rose Bowl, and deservedly so, because they beat Oregon twice. And that tells you kind of the measure and the level that Oregon has achieved. This was a college football playoff team until they came to Sac Lake City and got blown out.
Mm-hmm.
But my point is, Oregon's always relevant. Oregon's always one of the top teams in the Pac-12. Oregon's got money, uniforms, NIL. They've got everything that you want. Boosters, obviously, with Nike Nike.
Thanks, Nike.
Oregon's got everything that you want. Seemingly, Oregon would be a better job than BYU would be a better job, right? I mean, to me, Oregon seems like the better job.
Yeah.
But if you're Kalani Sitake, your heart is very clearly in Provo. Kalani left, went to Oregon State, didn't love it, came back. Very clearly, your heart is in Provo. So the value of what's a good job versus what's a better job versus the job you have now, that's a different conversation when it comes to Kalani Sitake, because his priorities are different.
Mm-hmm.
And I think BYU knows that. I think BYU has an advantage in that they know that Kalani doesn't want to leave. There's not a whole lot of incentive for Kalani to walk out the door right now and go to Oregon or go to SC or go to all these other jobs that he was asked to interview for. There's not a whole lot of incentive for him to do that. So my whole point is, I think BYU knows they're not going to lose Kalani Sitake, but it seems a little sus, if you will.
Yeah.
It seems interesting that there's no hurry to get this done. And I think the reason that there's no hurry to get this extension done, as it was explained to me anyway, both sides agree, hey, I want to be here. You want me here. We need to work out, a deal that gets me out of every conversation for every open job. But we also need to take care of my priorities, which include my staff and, our ability to run the program the way we want to run it. So I just think that he's not going anywhere, and I think BYU knows that.
Yeah, and hey, if they're on the same page, then that's great. If they're on the same page and they're in the situation that you just described, that's perfectly fine. But I just don't. Again, I always maintain I don't want BYU to find themselves in a place where you're headed into the Big 12. You've got all this great stuff happening, and then all of a sudden tomorrow, randomly out of the blue, we get the bombshell from Bleacher Report that Kalani is signing with Oregon. You can't, that can't happen if you're BYU. And so if they're on the same page, great. But I just think that this program and Kalani and what they've built it's been too long of a road. They've done too much for him to leave. And that's why I agree with you. I do think his priorities lie with BYU. I do think that he wants to stay. It's just going to be a matter of working out the paperwork. And the reason we bring up the Gordon Hayward situation all those years ago is because this is the same kind of thing. It was pretty much assumed that Gordon was going to re-sign with the Jazz. You let him go and have a conversation with Boston, and all of a sudden he's writing you a poem that gets leaked.
Well, no. Truth be told, you let him go have a conversation, several years prior with San Antonio.
Yeah.
And that conversation is what bolstered his belief that there was value for him in the market. And I think that's when you wind up losing guys. I don't believe for a minute that Kalani Sitake is going to Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't think he's heartbroken that the rumor's out there. And I think that this will get done and taken care of. It's just a matter of when. And Kalani has told people that he really wasn't that interested in interviewing until the season was over. And that included the bowl game. So it's not particularly surprising that he hasn't interviewed for a ton of jobs. There was a lot of belief that Washington came to Provo to interview Kalani. I don't know if that's true or not. I have no idea. And frankly, it doesn't really matter to me. What matters to me is that Kalani Sitake remains the head coach of the BYU Cougars because he's the right guy.
Yeah.
It is very difficult in, the atmosphere and the requirements and the prerequisites to be a head coach at BYU, specifically for basketball and football. Where are you going to find another LDS man that can do what Kalani Sitake's done? That's very difficult. Where are you going to find a guy that is in the church, has the temple recommend, and can lead you to a 10-win season and put you in the conversation for a New Year's Six Bowl? Back-to-back years. Where are you going to find that? It's very difficult.
Yeah.
And that's why I say there's a lot of value in Kalani Sitake. Both sides know that.
Yeah.
So it was not surprising to me anyways to hear Tom Holmoe yesterday talking about, that, hey, we're working on it. We're, both sides we're talking to Kalani. We're trying to get something done. That to me is not surprising.
Yeah.
Mainly because we reported it 3.5 weeks ago, but also because I think both sides like each other.
Well, and I think clearly, Tom is trying to get some publicity out there that that they are actively engaged in figuring it out, and I think that's the thing you got to remember too is like controlling the news cycle on these things is so important. Controlling what is out there in the media is very important. I think. If it's kind of like what you were just saying about Kalani. Is he heartbroken that his name is on the rumor mill for all these open positions? Well, no, of course not. I mean, it's a tip of the cap to him. It only helps him provide for his family, right? At the end of the day, that's why you would like that. If you're Tom Holmoe, you're trying to make sure that people know you and Kalani have full intentions of re-signing together. You're trying to make sure that this doesn't get out of hand, that there's never a news story that comes out that says that Kalani's disgruntled or unhappy. Like we all know how quickly it moves. That's my point. You just don't want this thing to get out of control. So hopefully we wake up at the end of the month, it's all done, everything's good to go, and we don't have to talk about this anymore. But for now, this is where we are.
And not to be redundant, but is Oregon a good job? Like it is. Now you know all the details on why Mario Cristobal chose to leave Oregon. He's an alumni at Miami, but you also know that Miami has now agreed to invest a significant amount of money back into the football program, which they had stopped doing. The Miami Hurricanes essentially had said, hey, boosters and alumni are going to fund our program. And if they don't, they don't. Then the program's not going to get funding. Well, now what Miami has said is, okay, we have alumni and donors, and we're going to put a bunch of money back in because they have new revenue streams, et cetera, et cetera. Your mom.
Yeah.
You understand that they hired Clemson's athletic director to come down to Miami. Okay, it's a little more appealing than it used to be. You have a recruiting base in your backyard of unbelievable track stars. Okay, Mario, knock yourself out. You weren't a great coach at Oregon anyway, right?
Yeah.
But USC is unquestionably a good job.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, there's...
Yeah, I think what I would say is USC is unquestionably a power brand in college football, even when they suck. It's SC. Like, you're never getting away or around or over the fact that USC just is. And I don't know how to explain the fact that it is, but it just is. SC is SC, and that's never going to change. Now,
right,
Oregon...
Yes, correct.
Oregon, to me, I mean, Oregon is a good job. Is it one of the best jobs in the country? No. Is it a good job? Yeah. For Kalani Sitake, is it a good job? No, it's not, because you're not really like, because when head coaches look at positions, they're looking at it from a selfish perspective. So, okay, if I'm going to leave BYU, what is the opportunity presented to me at Oregon? Okay, well, great. I'm in a P5 conference. I've got all the Nike money. We've got all that good stuff. Oregon has some history with the college football playoff and doing some things, so that helps.
Put guys in the NFL. Good
but he's already
base.
doing that.
Yeah.
He's already doing that,
well,
right? You know what I mean?
But is he though?
Yeah.
I think it's slow and incremental that more and more BYU guys are getting into the NFL. There's no doubt. Obviously, watching Danny Sorensen run a touchdown back, or, Zach Wilson with the Jets, and okay, yeah, it's getting better.
Yeah.
Oregon, there's no doubt about it. Kayvon Thibodeau, who announced he's coming out from Oregon
Yeah.
and is going to skip the bowl game, he's going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. I mean, it's not uncommon for Oregon to put guys in the NFL. And again, when it comes to good jobs, I think BYU is never going to be known as a great job just because of the honor code and the church affiliation.
There's extra
and
baggage.
There is. But to me, when I look at what's a good job and what's not, USC's a good job. Oregon's a dumpster fire. Oregon is always a problem. Oregon is always Chip Kelly recruiting scandals. Oregon is always Mario Cristobal can't win big games.
See, that to me is the difference. Oregon is known for not winning big games. That's what they're known for. And I think, like, the recruiting scandal stuff, obviously we can't say that about Oregon and not say it about SC. Obviously, like, SC's had its fair share. They've gone through their thing. Okay, great. But I just think that there's no way to really define why or how other than to just say it's Southern California. It's Hollywood. It's everything you want it to be.
I can define it for you.
Like, it's just what it is.
USC, when USC is even mediocre, they're ranked higher than most other people.
Which I don't understand.
Right? Well, because they're a brand, and when they're on TV and they're the 13th ranked USC Trojans, that's a game people are going to watch. Even if you're not an SC fan and you see SC on TV, you're not necessarily going to watch Stanford. You're not going to watch Cal. You're not going to watch Oregon State.
But what is it? What I'm struggling to figure out with SC, and the difference here between our perspectives is that I didn't watch USC in their heyday, right, with Pete Carroll and Reggie and when all that was going down. So you have that appreciation for what they were back in that time. But what I'm saying is that they haven't been that good since then. They haven't been anything.
Well,
since
their
then.
program got gutted.
Right.
I mean, obviously, they essentially got the death penalty without getting it.
Yeah.
And you know what? They've had poor management. And now, with Mike Bone there, all of that has changed. And now you would expect when you hire a guy like Lincoln Riley, I mean, you expect to win a national championship. Hard stop.
Quickly.
That's it.
Quickly. And to your credit, you did say, hey, they can go and get. We did specifically. I remember we specifically mentioned Lincoln Riley.
This is what I always say.
Yeah.
If you're Oregon, can you call Lincoln Riley's agent and say, "Hey, we'd like to talk to Lincoln Riley"?
Yeah, you can call, but he ain't answering.
Right?
I can tell you that.
If you're USC and you call Lincoln Riley's agent and say, "We'd like him to be the next coach at USC," he's absolutely answering the phone.
Well, remember, let's not forget. I mean, what did Lincoln himself say about how it all went down? I mean, Lincoln Riley claims that this was not a long process. That they called him. And then the next day, it was basically, done, if you will. There was just paperwork and formalities.
Yeah.
I mean, that's insane.
I don't think there's any doubt that when you look at USC, they're in a different class than just about anybody else. I look at Oregon. Oregon has clear access to the college football playoff. Oregon has a great uniform partnership and, donor base with Nike. I have to say Nike. With Phil Knight and Nike, obviously. I think Oregon's a good, not a great job. I look at Utah. Compare Utah to Oregon.
Branding-wise, Oregon and SC are both ahead of Utah.
Oregon's a better job.
Yeah.
And here's why. Because kids don't want to come to the mountains. When you're a kid that grew up in LA or Miami, are you really going to come to the mountains and play football? That's a tough sell, which is why Kyle Whittingham's so remarkable.
Yeah.
Because he gets kids to do it all the time. The issue becomes that it's a project to recruit to Utah.
Yeah.
It's a project to recruit to BYU. It's not a project to recruit to Eugene, Oregon. Not when you can say, hey, you're going to have the freshest, hottest Nikes. You're going to have the best uniforms, the best Jordans.
You're going to be on national TV.
What do kids care about? Kids
Yeah.
care about their parents watching them on TV. They care about their drip. So the uniforms, the shoes, the outfit, all of it.
Yep.
The money, the NIL, they care about making money in college. You're doing that at Oregon. Are you making NIL money at Utah? Not right now, you're not.
Which is beyond me.
So I think Oregon's is a good, not a great job. I think when you look at LSU, is LSU really a great job? I don't think it is.
I wouldn't say it's a great job. I feel like LSU is the Oregon of the SEC. It's a good job. You can win a national championship at LSU, no doubt, but it's not as good of a job as whatever other great job you want to point to.
Yeah, and so I bring this up to say that I understand why Kalani Sitake doesn't want to leave BYU. He's the perfect guy there,
and I think he's a different kind of guy. To your point, like Kalani's not like Lincoln Riley. Kalani's not like all these other dudes who are not LDS and not about everything that comes with the BYU package. So that's why I just think it does make me nervous. I have some anxiety about the fact that they're not done with it, but I also know, just like you were just saying 5 minutes ago, that they're on the same page and they're working it out. So
yeah, and they both. I'm not worried about Kalani leaving.
Yeah.
I'm not. I think when I look at where Kalani is, he's the king of Utah right now.
For real.
Now, by the way, I would also point out, for all the BYU fans that are looking past UAB, I had probably 5 tweets. Well, they quit football. You don't know the UAB story if you're simply stopping at, well, UAB quit football. If you don't know the story of UAB and why they didn't wind up quitting football, friends, UAB is capable of beating BYU. And there's so many people that are assuming that BYU is going to run through UAB. I might slow my roll on that. I might win first and then talk about how badly you got screwed. Because if you go to the Independence Bowl and you lose to UAB, it's not a great look.
No.
And by the way, if Utah goes to the Rose Bowl and wins, Kyle Whittingham's back as the king of Utah. And, I'd almost say if Utah wins the Rose Bowl, that's going to be an awfully difficult sell for BYU in recruiting.
Yeah, I don't know what leg do you have to stand on? Yeah. That's why I say the Big 12 dynamic is hugely important right now. The Kalani's relationship to the Big 12 situation is huge. I can't say enough how important it is to get it done so that when you go to the Big 12, your program is hitting the ground running.
Nothing to talk about. By the way, it's going to be 5 to 7 years of a curve.
And that's my point. With Kalani, it's 5 to 7 years. Again, not that I'm trying to say he's leaving, but hypothetically, let's say that did happen. Can you imagine how much worse that transition would be? Like how much more challenging that would be for you as a program? That's why I'm saying it's so important to get it done.
Nah, I'm fine.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Get it done. James Knight, morning to you. James, stick around. We've got some NBA for you here in about 5 minutes. Giggity says, morning, fellas. What's up, Giggity? Greg Hawkins says, what's up? What's up, Hawk? BYU needs to increase the assistant pool budget, give Kalani a sizable raise, and become NIL University in order to keep Kalani. Get Ryan Smith or something to help out. Well, I don't think it's an issue. I think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Brett Allen says BYU dragging their feet, and it's irritating. It's got to be tough not knowing your new conference payouts are going to look like. That makes it tough to budget for your coaching staff. Yeah, I would agree with that.
But you can't tell me they don't have money, dude. I'm not going to sit here and feel like
he's already well paid.
Well, that might be true, but the fact is he's doing something in your program that you've never done in recent times.
Yeah.
You've got, I mean, what? Some of us weren't even alive the last time they won a national championship. I mean, what are we talking about? Like, yeah, sure, he might be well paid now. Pay the guy more. Like, I pay him.
I would just say pay his assistants more, give them more job stability.
Do what needs to be done.
Yeah, whatever it is that's holding you up, and I'm told that it's buyout language.
What does that even mean?
That means, hey, it's going to cost you this much, and we're not going to pay you.
Yeah,
and BYU, I'm sure, wants language that says, "Hey, if you're terrible and we fire you, I'm sure that's what it is, and I'm sure it's, hey, if another school hires you, we want them to have to pay $80 gazillion. I'm sure that's what it always is.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Greg Hawkins says Oregon has won more college football playoff games than the entire Big 12. Truth.
Yeah.
Giggity says Oregon is known for those hideous uniform combinations.
But are they hideous or do kids like them?
Kids love them.
And that's my thing. I'm not saying you're wrong about the fact that some of those uniforms they run out are terrible, but what matters to Oregon is, and what matters to a potential head coaching candidate, would be, hey, can I use the uniforms to recruit? Can I, like recruiting is simply, hey, what do I have in my tool bag to bring value to get kids here? That's what it is.
Yeah.
And the uniforms are part of that.
Greg Hawkins says USC is a blue blood with 17 national championships over generations in a prime location with prime talent. All
Yeah.
it takes is one good hire to change everything. Lincoln Riley could be that guy. Yeah,
I think he is that guy.
that's exactly right.
I think he is that guy.
By the way, who's the best coach of any sport in the state of Utah? I think Kyle Whittingham's probably got to be that guy.
Yeah, I think it's probably Witt. I think if Quinn Snyder wins a NBA title, I think you got to put him in there. All
this
time,
state is so thirsty.
like all time, Jerry's got to be there, But right now it's Witt.
If Kyle Whittingham wins the Rose Bowl,
Yeah, I mean it's just such a. I don't think it's if. I think it's when. I think they're going to win that game. I think it's going to be a fitting end of their season.
Dude.
Like
Ohio State is very good.
yeah, but what do we say? Oregon's really good, and they freaking embarrassed Oregon not once but twice.
Well, Utah brings a physical edge that most teams do not.
Yeah, and I think that Ohio State is a damn good football team. But I also think that Kyle Whittingham and the Utah Utes have been an underdog the entire season.
Yeah, that's
They're
right.
happy to continue to be an underdog, and I just think that when there's something about having the ability to have nothing to lose when you're playing football, to be able to say, yeah, 2 of our teammates died, and we're just out here playing football, and we're going to do everything that we can do to win the game. That's why they're winning football games. They just simply want it more, and I don't have Ohio State. Frankly, has shown the ability to lose games that people think that they should win, and that's why I think Utah is going to do well. I do.
Yeah, don't disagree with that. Of course, Tanner Plummer comes in and drops a ridiculous comment. Best coach in Utah right now, Real Salt Lake coach Pablo Mastriani.
Okay, so that's how it's going to be.
Why? Why?
Tanner. I'm going to have to put him in a 6 months.
So you better check
No, I'm
yourself.
kidding. By the way, he said LOL, Jake. Check yourself, Tanner. I think there's no doubt right now that it's Kyle Whittingham. I mean, what he's done this year.
I think that second Oregon win solidifies that it's Kyle Whittingham.
I mean, yeah, I think if he beats Ohio State in the Rose Bowl.
If you beat Oregon when you beat Oregon the first time, if you'd have lost the second Oregon game in the Pac-12 championship game, we'd be having a different conversation.
Yeah, it would have, all of that would have gone up in smoke.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
now that you've won the Pac-12, going to the Rose Bowl, I don't know, dude. There's just something about this team, and I'm not trying to be cliche, corny sports guy, but there's just something about this team where they're able to bring it.
Corny sports guy.
Yeah, I mean, everyone always says, "Oh, well, this team has something special."
We're special.
We're
The Chicago Bulls after they win every night.
Yeah,
tweet out,
like,
this
come
is
on.
a special team.
This is a special team. Caruso's headband really does put him over the top.
Oh, please. Shut up. Anyway, I think it's Kyle Whittingham. We'll talk a lot more about the Rose Bowl as we approach that. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, The Monty Show, MONTY, The Monty Show on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find Jake, SLC, Supercars. I'm sorry, what are you doing?
I can't check my phone.
No, man. How's that not girlfriend doing?
Doing great, bro.
Doing
great, man.
Virtual Bijan.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
Yeah, everything's great.
Did you guys talk last night?
Yes, not on the phone.
No, you guys don't talk on the phone.
Who does that? Idiot.
I stayed up an extra hour to make sure I got to talk to my wife,
I'm for real.
to hear her voice and stuff.
Yeah.
Show each
Did that
other-
get you a little excited?
Yeah, I mean, strengthen the forearms after it was over. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
Hey.
Let's talk NBA basketball. Speaking of strengthening forearms, the Utah Jazz are about to embark on a 3-game roadie that will technically be a 4-gamer if you count the Cleveland game, which...
The
By the way,
land.
has anybody noticed that the Utah Jazz have the cake schedule? That you have a 4-game road trip that includes 17 days off between games.
Yeah, dude.
That's aight.
Yeah, I'd say so.
It is. It's not a bad thing. That they played Sunday, And now they're coming home and taking a break, and now today will fly to Minnesota.
So December is a pretty cake month, right?
Yeah.
Go to January, and this is where I think Jazz fans are going to start to go a little mental because there are some losses in January coming. You have Golden State.
Well, the Pistons.
Right.
Oh, my
bad. You've got Golden State. You've got Denver twice. You've got the Lakers. You've got Golden State again. You've got 2 with Phoenix. You've got Denver again. Like, you're playing good teams, you know? And I think that my biggest thing right now with this team and watching them is everyone's like, oh, well, Don's the Western Conference Player of the Week, and he's playing great. And that might be true. And I agree. He's been playing well. My problem is we're still having the same conversation that we were having last year. It's Don and everybody else, and they don't have a way to beat the best teams in the league.
I think we saw it against Cleveland. It goes to Don and everybody else.
Yeah.
And everybody gets excited that, Rudy throws down a left-handed jam on Jared Allen.
That was a fire dunk, though. I mean,
That
give
was
the guy
awesome.
credit. That was a pretty sick dunk. Like,
you were in a game that was really close
with Cleveland.
with the Cleveland Cavaliers, who, by the way, hey, not for nothing, the Cavs are not bad this year.
Yeah.
The Cavs are competitive,
Come on.
but you're the Utah Jazz.
Colin Sexton isn't even playing, dude. They're not even at full strength.
You're the Utah Jazz. You're better than the Cleveland Cavaliers. But this 3-game trip to Minnesota, Philly, and Washington before you come home to play the Clippers is going to be very telling.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you get into the meat of the new year, I mean, you're right now, what, 24 something, 25 games in?
Something like that, yep.
You're getting to, you're getting to the halfway mark before you know it. And you're going to have to make a pretty significant trade to upgrade your position right now. You're 16-7. You've played good basketball. You haven't played great basketball yet.
You're about 29 games in now. You're about 30 games in.
What's their record right now?
16-7.
Yeah,
16-7.
That's not 30 games.
Okay, well, I can't. I'm counting quick. Okay. So,
I mean,
it's fine. Okay, cool. Good talk. All right.
Do you see what I deal with?
Yeah,
anyway,
right.
the point is, what is that? 23 games?
Yeah. 23
Thanks.
games.
You're
Sorry.
welcome. Anyway, the point is, the Jazz are just past the quarter pole, and you're going to be at the 40-game mark before you know it hits you.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to add to this roster if you want to win a championship. This is not a championship caliber roster. It's not. And the thing that is so surprising is that you are in a position where you're not playing any of your youth. None. Zero. You're asking a bunch of old dudes to carry the mail for you.
Mm-hmm.
And for long stretches in the second half against Cleveland and, really for the last 3-4 games, they haven't been able to do it. So now you're going to head for Minnesota. And I know that we all love the T-Wolves in these parts.
Well, let's remember what happened last year, last season.
Can we not?
Let's remember what happened last season on the show. Hey, they're going to struggle with Minnesota. Oh, you guys are idiots. Do you even watch Jazz games?
No.
And then what happened? You lost back-to-back to Minnesota. By the way, they're better this year than they were last year. By the way, who's stopping Anthony Edwards? Who's stopping him? I don't know.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, Malik Beasley.
D'Lo.
Yeah, D'Lo is...
I'm concerned. I mean, call me an idiot if you want to. Please. Have fun doing it. But I'm telling you, this game it's concerning to me.
It'll be interesting to see. Is D'Angelo healthy?
Yes, I believe he is.
Anyway, here nor there.
Mm-hmm.
My point is, I look at the Minnesota Timberwolves. This is an incredibly athletic team.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw last year in that back-to-back that it is not the easiest thing in the world for the Jazz to stay in front of the Timberwolves. And now with Cat healthy and playing well, Rudy Gobert is going to be on the perimeter. And that's going to leave you exposed at the rim. And it'll be interesting to see, is Hassan Whiteside going to play in this game? Because I think that's a big question mark. So it'll be interesting to see exactly how the Jazz plan for that. But we watched the Suns last night.
Mm-hmm.
That team's easy right now. Looking at Denver, they lose to Maiar and we, the greatest team in the history of basketball, the Chicago Bulls.
Right, of course.
Only because Alex Caruso's amazing.
Right.
He didn't play.
Right.
But Denver's going to get healthy at some point, you would think, and they're good. I look at the Lakers and the Clippers. The Lakers are a 500 team that's going to make a significant deal. The Golden State Warriors are absolutely legitimate.
Yes.
They are. That game, again, last night we were watching some of that game. Golden State's legit. Good luck. I mean, that's a very good team. You look at what's in front of the Jazz right now, the Suns and the Warriors are better teams than the Utah Jazz. And I think when you look at the teams below the Jazz, Denver, Clippers, Lakers, those
Portland.
teams, this Damian Lillard trade shit, like, I just look at this. What is it going to take to get Ben Simmons out of Philly?
I don't know.
Damian
they're asking a
Lillard
ridiculous price.
Supposedly
Allegedly.
really wants Ben Simmons in Portland.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying to myself, if you're Philly, why haven't you made that deal yet? I mean, Damian Lillard clearly is letting it be known he needs more than what he's got. Anyway, you look at the Lakers, the Clippers, Denver. All of these teams are going to make significant moves. Here we are on, December 7th. Do you believe that the Utah Jazz are going to make a significant move?
I mean, not a move on the level of those other teams. And again, this is not a new conversation. I want people to remember, and you can find it on the channel, we've been having this conversation since before they re-signed Mike Conley. And this is where the Conley situation and the Gobert situation come for you, meaning that because you have all that money on the books already, it's going to make it really difficult for you to go out and make a big splash move for a guy that could put you over the top, that could put you into the NBA championship conversation. Yeah. And I'm not trying to hate. I think it's just reality of the situation, because you're already so committed to those guys on your roster already. You're going to have to move significant names on this team to get something back because of the money. So, you're going to have to talk about a name like Bogey. You're going to have to talk about Royce O'Neal. You're going to have to talk about Joe Ingles. I mean, these major players on your team are going to have to move if you want to take that next step. And that's the challenging part. Who's available? Who can you go and get?
That's right.
Because teams aren't just going to say, oh, yeah, let's do the Jazz a favor. We're the Timberwolves. Let's go ahead and just give them one of our best players for Joe Ingles. Nobody's doing that. They're not doing that. And that's why it is so difficult to win an NBA championship.
Chris Karn, good morning to you. He says, go Hawks.
Okay.
Jake.
Oh, wait, hang on.
Jake.
Hang on. Hang on.
Go Hawks.
There you go.
Thank
Sorry.
you.
Sorry.
Thanks. I know the drop machine was turned off. We don't. There are days where Jake just doesn't feel like it.
Why do you say things like this?
Like what?
Sometimes you can't play drops. Sometimes it's not appropriate.
Well, we all make choices in life.
Well,
James Knight says, why all of a sudden does the regular season matter? Okay, first of all, you're hammered. He's drunk. What all of a sudden regular season from matters?
So that's a reference to us saying that being the 1 seed doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter. What good did it do you?
It doesn't matter. Why the regular season matters? Well, I mean, to give you an idea of how you match up when the playoffs start, that's really what it matters. I mean, you just need to be one of the teams that's not in the playoff to get in the play-in tournament. So to me, the regular season matters in that you have to know who and where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And the Jazz, I would hope, know who and where they are, and that is they're not good enough, and they need to make a trade.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not going to be able to compete with the teams at the top of the conference. I mean, you look at what and how Phoenix plays basketball. I mean, the without Devin Booker, without and I don't even know how to say this out loud, without Frank Kaminsky. Yeah, I said it. Without Frank Kaminsky, who actually was playing very good basketball before he got hurt.
He was thriving with DeAndre Ayton being out.
I mean, and DeAndre Ayton, I mean, he's an elite offensive player, but he's still not great defensively. All that going on, the Suns are 20-4.
20-4.
And the Golden State Warriors are 20-4.
It's crazy.
The Suns are 9-1 in their last 10. I mean, they're playing elite basketball. You look at Memphis. Look at Memphis. That team is the Memphis Grizzlies are legitimately good because Ja Morant's a better shooter this year than he was last year. You look at teams like the Clippers, the Lakers. The Mavericks are trash. Luka's
Yeah.
not a championship player.
Nope.
The Timberwolves, Blazers, those are all playoff teams. You know, I mean, but you struggle with the New Orleans Pelicans because of their athletic ability. You need to go and you need to get a guy that can give you 3-point shooting and defense.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's what concerns me. Right now, I can't definitively say, well, yeah, I mean, the Jazz would dominate the Memphis Grizzlies in a playoff series because last year they didn't dominate that team. I mean, yeah, they won in 5, but there was some concern. I mean, there were major concerns around that series early on. So all I'm saying is it's not the end of the world for the Jazz, but they're not right now. They're not as good as they were last year, and they're doing a good job load managing Mike Conley. You know, they're doing a good job doing what they need to do to be healthy. But at the same time, what good is being healthy if you're going to get knocked out in the first or second round? That's the problem.
And by the way, I'd also point to the fact that the Brooklyn Nets are playing pretty good basketball right now. Kevin Durant, again.
I just want to point out something. And yes, I'm the KD homer on the show, but I think every NBA fan could appreciate
Let me go
this.
ahead and single
Yeah,
it
go ahead and
up.
single it up. Okay, thank you. Okay. So everyone's like, oh, well, Steph Curry is the NBA MVP, and he's the best, and he's amazing. And Kevin Durant's putting up the same numbers that Steph Curry's putting up and not getting any MVP love. And that's because he does that every single year and makes it look easy.
No. That's because DeMar DeRozan is the true NBA MVP this year, number one. And number
Y'all
two.
want to play.
Yeah. Don't trifle me, bro. Number two, it's what you expect out of Kevin Durant. There are some negatives that come with being one of the best players in the world.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron James said the same thing. Expectations. You know, everybody's talking about firing Frank Vogel. You know what? Players got to play, and Kevin Durant plays at that level on a consistent basis.
Yes.
So it's the expectation now. And guys like Steph Curry don't play at that level on a consistent basis. Kevin Durant does it in the playoffs, in the finals. He does it in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
It's just who the guy is, right? Steph Curry's not that guy. So, by the way, they're still playing without James Wiseman and Klay Thompson, who are not going on the upcoming road trip with the Warriors.
Which is just insane, dude. I mean, to be 20-4 without those two guys, come on.
And it's because they're actually really athletic defensively. I mean, I don't know. I look at where the Jazz are. They're a top 10 team, and that's about as far as I'm willing to go with it.
Yeah.
You know, like I think the Jazz are not as good as they were last year simply because they've taken a step back. You know, they've gotten older. They have not gotten faster. They did not really add anybody in the offseason that makes them a different team or brings a new dynamic.
But Rudy Gay.
But Rudy Gay's the same guy that you've had on this team.
Yeah.
He's a guy that can shoot a 3-pointer. You know, now we'll see as we get into some more interesting matchups. You know, let's see Rudy Gay play some 4 or 5. Let's see Rudy Gay play 35 minutes in a game. Let's see Rudy Gay.
Yeah.
You know, like he's still ramping up. Like he's not young, dynamic, and a defensive stalwart. That's what this team needs. They need a young, dynamic wing that can defend. You know, sadly, you'd love to have a Ben Simmons skill set who could shoot a 3. That's exactly what this Utah Jazz team needs.
But how do you get that accomplished? That's the tough part.
Well, you go and make a trade.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
going to
we'll
have
see.
to go make a trade.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm telling you now, somebody's going to fleece the Sacramento Kings. And it'll be interesting to see, are the Jazz a team that's out there fleecing somebody, or are they the team that makes it a 3-way trade? Like, what are they going to do? Where are they going to be involved? When are they? The Jazz have not for many years been the headline team in a trade.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a very long time. And now I think Ryan Smith has shown you that they're not doing things the way they've always done things.
Which is a welcome relief.
Yeah, I agree. James Knight says, take note of the huge minutes Katie and Harden have been playing, and let's hope they have the legs in the postseason.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great point. I think that I think if you look back to that Bucks Nets series last postseason, you know, playing overtime and Kevin Durant playing like 48 minutes, and like, I mean, these guys just play, you know, insane minutes, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't think about the Achilles with Kevin Durant. I mean, I think that, you know, at some point your body will stop at some point, but I don't know when that is.
A lot of these Olympians are hurt.
Yeah, I mean, you were just talking about Devin Booker. I mean, there's him and several other guys, but We'll see, man. All I'm saying is that right now, I think I'm just really concerned about the concept that the Jazz need more, but they're not in a real prime, ideal position to go and get more. So we'll see. I mean, what does that really do? That puts, Justin Zanuck and this front office in a position to go and make things happen that people didn't think were possible. And that hopefully will be what we're talking about come the day after the trade deadline and come postseason.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. John Jackson says, I really like the way Rudy Gay has been playing even better than Royce O'Neal. Do you think that Rudy will switch Royce for the starting lineup later in the season?
I don't know if he has the legs for it. That's my only concern.
Yeah,
I don't know that he could be a starter.
And this team has an odd affection for Royce O'Neal.
Yeah, which I don't get.
Because he's just a player. He's just a guy. I don't know. Tanner Plummer says, the Mavericks are trash. Luka's not a championship player. Well, don't tell that to Luka's mom.
Well,
she's got a gravy train somewhere. Fat Jesus says, regular season doesn't matter. Just look at last year when the Jazz had the best record in the conference, but couldn't get to the conference finals.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that we're not sitting here saying that the regular season matters in terms of, their ability to go and win the Western Conference. That's not the goal this year. It hasn't been the goal since the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Like, it's no secret that they're happy to be a 3 to 5 seed and just get in. And I agree with that strategy. I think Mike Conley has to be healthy for this team to be successful in the postseason. I think that Don's got to be healthy, frankly, headed into the postseason. I think this team needs to be dialed in, headed into the postseason. And my only thing, I agree with you, is you need to stay out of the play-in tournament. That's the only thing. So whether you're a 6 seed or a 1 seed, stay out of the play-in tournament and go and do something at the trade deadline, something meaningful. Like, meaningful meaning wing player at a minimum. Hopefully he's really athletic.
Yeah, you'd love to see a pure number 2 option to Donovan Mitchell.
I'd love to see a Zach LaVine-esque player on this team, but they don't have the money for that. And I don't, because you don't have the money, I don't know what name you're going to go and try and get.
They don't have the money and they don't have the assets.
Yeah.
That's the real issue.
Yeah.
So you're landlocked. You're going to have, that's why I said I think you're going to wind up taking either a bad contract in return or.
And my thing is, too, if we look at this from if we project forward with Donovan's career. So let's say that you don't do much of anything at the trade deadline. Let's say that you make a move, but you're not able to go and make a splash transaction. Okay, you get eliminated this year. When does Don start talking about leaving? When does that conversation begin? Because it happens with every star. It happened with Dame. It happened with LeBron. It's happening with Book. Like at some point, Donovan Mitchell is going to he's going to be unhappy. So my question is, when does that start to happen?
When does he wind up looking at being a Knick or a Net?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a guy that has huge ties to New York, as you're well aware.
It's a great point. Yeah. When does he go home?
All I'm saying is this team, and only time will tell.
Yeah.
But the Mike Conley deal, the Rudy Gobert deal, the mistakes that this team has made that you knew were mistakes when you made them.
And you still made them.
And you did it anyway. Those are the ones that are going to come back to get you because this team cannot consistently pay the luxury tax. You can. And you're going to make a ton of money out of rebranding and merch sales, jersey sales. Like, hey, I get it. But you better win at some point because your fans will grow apathetic. And at some point, you're not going to be the cool, neat story anymore. And right now, this team is young and hip, and you have a lot of issues surrounding this team that winning would take care of. TV deals, streaming deals, content deals, money-making deals.
Attractiveness to free agents.
You know what I'm saying? So it'll be interesting. It will be interesting to see how this all works out. Do you think the Bulls are for real, or are you just being a jerk? Well, that's not what Todd said, which is why his comment got filtered. But I actually do think the Bulls are for real. I mean, obviously with DeRozan having COVID, they still found a way to beat Denver. It's because you're getting great performances out of just about everybody.
Yeah.
Like Derek Jones Jr. jumping out of the gym. Well, he hit a huge 3-2 last night, and he's actually playing lockdown defense. How? I don't know.
And he's rebounding.
you look at the way the Bulls are built. I mean, you have so many injuries right now from Caruso, DeRozan. Like, you're missing guys, and you're still winning games because Zach LaVine is playing big minutes. You look at Lonzo Ball's contribution; he's knocking down threes. Vucevic is a joke. I am not a Vucevic guy at all. I just, we'll see. We'll see.
They're a playoff team. Are they a championship caliber team? No, probably not. They're a playoff team.
Yeah.
They're a one and done playoff team.
I think one of the more disappointing teams this year in the NBA is the New York Knicks. Like, that team has fallen off. And I don't know if this is the regular burnout with Tom Thibodeau or what, but that team should be better than they are.
Well, and they've taken Kemba out of the rotation, and I mean, there's just all this. They're nice. They're an entertaining team to watch, but they're not a good team. That's what I'll say.
I would agree with that. And whereas a team like Charlotte that's young and now without LaMelo because of COVID, and I think Terry Rozier's in protocol as well.
Yeah.
They're relying on, actually G-Time stepped up last night.
Mm-hmm.
Gordon Hayward.
Charlotte's getting better. I mean, there's no way around that. LaMelo is definitely better this year than he was last year. The chemistry of the team is better. Like, I think, listen, and this kind of goes back to the conversations we've had with the Jazz situation. I mean, whether you want to look at, Golden State bouncing back, you want to look at Charlotte getting better, you want to look at Chicago being better than they've been. Like, a lot of the teams in the league are slowly but surely getting better, Not every team is able to do what the Warriors have done, but they're getting better. And that's why I say I would love to see the Jazz kind of on that same trajectory. The problem is getting better for the Jazz is the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So it's not like, hey, we went from, 30 wins to 40 wins. The issue is you had 53 wins last year, I think, or something like that. Like, you're almost destined to take a step back in the win column this year in an effort to take a step forward in the playoff column. So that's why I say the NBA, I love the NBA. I think there's a lot of great storylines. I think DeMar DeRozan, you've been saying this, I haven't agreed with it until lately. DeMar DeRozan has the opportunity to contend for an MVP this year. We'll see what happens. But I just think that the teams that are legit right now are few and far between, because I don't know, the Bucks let you down some nights, The Knicks, the Nets have guys who are not playing, and some nights they just don't play well. So I don't know, dude. I don't know. But what I'm saying is the trade deadline is coming, and somebody, as it happens every single year, a team we are not talking about is going to make a splash deal, and they're going to get a hell of a lot better. And a team we are talking about is going to do nothing, and they're going to get eliminated in the postseason.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's see. Have you noticed teams being baiting Rudy Gobert lately? James says. Well, that's been going on for weeks. We've talked about that. That goes back to the Pacers, and I mean, the problem is that Rudy is not a tough guy. He's not he's not a physically intimidating player, so he can be had. And now he said he's not going to defend himself. He's not going to throw punches. I mean, you're not going to attack the Leonards of the world. You're not going to attack you're not going to attack big men in this league and say then that you're not going to fight. And I think Rudy Gobert is an interesting guy when it comes to stirring the pot. He is a guy he's not a dirty player, but he pulls your uniform. He elbows you.
He is an annoyance.
He arm locks you.
Yes.
Rudy does. And then he dunks and he wants to kick you. And then when when you go at him and a ref calls a foul, he's going to be outraged at every single whistle. That's why Rudy finds himself in situations where guys are going at him.
Yeah, and he talks too. He talks junk. I mean, multiple players have said that. So, I mean, you can't – I don't know, man. You lose your composure and constantly complain to the officials. And, I mean, we've had this conversation. We all know the conversation. But, yes, to answer the question directly, yes, guys have been baiting them. It is a point of emphasis for teams playing the Jazz. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Ian, good morning, too. He says, have y'all talked about the Grizz playing better without Ja? Well, I mean, aren't they 4-0 without him since he got hurt?
Don't start running this crap out here about how a team is better without Ja Morant. That's just not the case. They may be 4-0 with him not on the floor. But Ja Morant is a generational talent. I mean, there's no I'm just not going to sit here and be like, yeah, they're better without Ja Morant. Come on, let's not be silly.
Well, I mean, when you look at who's doing it for them, they're getting contributions across the board. So it's not that Ja Morant's the problem. It's that when he's out, you're starting to see that, Bane and Adams and Brooks, and Dylan Brooks is a stud.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be surprised if they trade him. But without Ja Morant, their defense is not as good. And as I said 20 minutes ago, the reason that they're as good as they are right now is because Ja Morant's shooting the 3-ball better. So with him out of the lineup, they're not. It's not as though they're playing elite basketball. I just think they're getting contributions from more people. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, and that's what happens when your star players are out. I think I look at the Heat and I look at Bam Adebayo being out.
Good luck.
That sucks. I mean, that's a huge loss for them. I mean, Dwayne Dedmon's your starting center now.
Yeah.
That's a huge loss for you, who, by the way, was another guy that went at Rudy Gobert.
Yep.
So I don't think this is not a Ja Morant problem. I just don't.
Yeah.
I think Ja's a star. He's a stud.
Yeah.
All right. Can we talk about sports radio real quick again?
Yes.
I feel like we talk about this on a monthly basis now.
We do, as we should.
So I had the occasion. I'm not really in the car most of the day. I listen to radio in podcast or stream form most of the time. A lot of the times I stream like the Score in Chicago. I will occasionally listen to Cowherd. But on a regular basis, I usually listen to the Joe Rogan podcast. It just depends on the day. But I'm driving my wife to the airport yesterday.
Honey.
Go Hawks. Yeah, hey baby. So my wife goes out of town on business. And I'm driving back from the airport, and it's like noon time around.
Okay, so midday.
It's in the 12 o'clock hour.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm flipping around, and I'm looking for BYU conversation. I'm looking for Utah conversation.
The usuals.
I'm looking for Jazz conversation.
Yeah.
I get one station's talking RSL. The other station's not really talking sports at all. And so I flip back to the RSL station that's still talking RSL. I flip back to KSLSports.com. I don't know why I'm not saying the Zone. But I flip back to Hans and Scotty on the Zone, and they're talking about nothing in particular, and then they go into like an infomercial on, erectile dysfunction and right, like, and I'm like, man, I'm in the car for 25 minutes here, and at the end, I finally get Hans and Scotty talking about like Utah State. But that entire time, I got nothing on BYU, nothing on Utah, nothing on the Jazz.
Yeah.
And it's incredibly frustrating that then what I did is I flipped on SiriusXM, Mad Dog Sports Radio, and I kid you not, I get a Utah-Ohio State preview on there talking about the Rose Bowl in the Pac-12.
Crazy.
I'm getting more local radio from Mad Dog Sports Radio on SiriusXM than I am from the local stations. How is that possible?
Yeah.
How is that possible? I don't understand that. It makes me crazy. I flip on the Score in Chicago, and I'm getting Matt Nagy's press conference. Mm-hmm. Exactly what I want.
Mm-hmm. What you would expect.
Yes. Now, I can only take so much of the Score. Frankly, they make me crazy with some things, but I want to turn something on and have it be exactly what I expect it to be.
Yeah.
And I'm a big believer in that. I've worked in radio a long time. I understand that that's something you have to do. And I have no idea what I'm going to get when I turn on the radio in this town.
Well, I think, but in a way, I think you do know what you're going to get, right? You know that you're like, okay, I'm going to turn the radio on and I'm just going to hope for the best. That's the problem.
Pretty much.
You're as a listener, I feel like you're put in a position where you're like, yeah, I'm going to turn the radio on, but like how long. I know, like, subconsciously, you already know you're not going to listen for a long time. That's the problem. When you don't know what you're going to get, you already know, okay, yeah, I'm driving down Bangirter. Guess I'm going to listen to this for 5 minutes. Let me look at some construction while I'm listening to this. And then you're going to turn something else on when they inevitably go to break to talk about, pills. So it to me, I'm just like, dude, like, why is it so hard to just dumb this down if you're these guys to, all right, we're going to talk Utah in the Rose Bowl. We're going to talk about BYU and Kalani, and then we're going to talk about the Jazz. And if we get to RSL, neat. If not, who cares? Like, why is that so difficult?
And the thing with Scotty and Hans talking about Utah State, I get it. Scotty's the voice, apparently, of Utah State football. Okay, I totally understand that. I guess Hans Olsen is going to call. He's going to be like the color guy for their bowl game in the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl, which, hey, that's cool. But aren't you here to do a job?
It's lazy. You're doing what you're comfortable with, not what your listener wants or needs or expects. It's lazy.
It's really frustrating.
Yeah, and that's why. I mean, we catch heat on the show for doing like a lot of BYU.
We talk too much BYU.
Like we get heat for that, and I respect that. If you're a Utah fan, you want more Utah from us. I get it. But if we wind the clocks back and look at how the season played out, we're talking about the biggest story in this town. And for most of the year, for most of this season, that's been BYU, which is why we've been doing BYU stuff. But again, now we're going to piss off BYU fan by saying that Kyle Whittingham is the king of this town. And that Kyle Whittingham, if he wins the Rose Bowl, is going to have one of the best seasons that this town's ever seen on a football field. So that's why I say at the end of the day, whether these guys, like if you're one of these radio shows locally, just be on BYU or Utah. That's all you have to do.
You can't make a mistake doing that.
It's not rocket science.
You can't. And if you're Hans Olsen, talk about BYU, man.
And then, by the way, don't get me started on this whole concept of actually having an opinion when you have a conversation. That's my other thing with radio, not even just here in Salt Lake, like just generally speaking. My problem is I don't enjoy the radio here in Salt Lake. I really don't enjoy the radio in Phoenix where we lived before. And I don't know anybody in LA where we used to live before. So for me, I'm stuck on, Rome, or like I can't say that I listen to Joe Rogan consistently, but I have before, so I wind up just listening to music or something else. That's the problem. There's nobody that's giving me like a dynamic opinion. That's the issue.
Yeah, and I don't mind Hans and Scotty when they're okay. The problem is they go off and they do all this other stuff that I just don't think half the world cares about.
Yeah.
Like, I understand the advertiser, the erectile dysfunction thing, and they have like some stock market advertiser thing. Like, okay, I totally understand that.
That's the business. That's the business. You have to give those guys time.
Like on ESPN 700, the Dish Pros, Ryan from the Dish Pros does live reads on there. Like, I totally get that. I like those guys. Like the Dish Pros are great. That's not my issue. My issue is that when you're actually talking on the radio, you're not talking about anything that anybody cares about. And I don't understand. Like, let's have a serious conversation about what fans in Salt Lake City want to hear. And with all due respect to my friends in Logan in Utah State, you're 5th or 6th in this town. Right? You're not.
I'd rather talk Utah State than RSL. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
I can tell you that for sure. But in order of relevance, I would say, depending on who you are, it's either BYU or Utah, number one, depending on who you are. So for the sake of this conversation, let's just say it's Utah, just for example's sake. So Utah, BYU, the Jazz, Utah State, RSL.
Right now, what you should be talking about, BYU number 1. Utah, Ohio State, number 2. The Jazz, number 3. BYU, number 4. Utah, Ohio State, number 5. And the Jazz, number 6. And then if you want to get into Utah State for 3 minutes.
3 minutes is a long time on the radio. I hope people understand that.
Go get it. But you can't do an entire hour. An entire hour before we went to Hawaii. an entire hour on Utah State on
Yeah.
1280 with Hans and Scott.
And the thing and maybe this is the perspective I have because we've been in the industry and we have experience in it. They're only talking Utah State because it's comfortable to them, which I have a real problem with because the art of radio is not what you're comfortable with. The art of radio is having a conversation about what your people are passionate about. That's my problem.
Well, in my opinion, what I've always done is I talk about the things that the people who listen to our show want to talk about.
Mhm.
And I do it with knowledge, education, and I put some passion behind it. And you can't help but root for the teams that the people who listen to your show root for. Us coming on here and ripping Utah, BYU, the Jazz, the Suns, it was shocking yesterday, and I guess I can look it up. How many people from not Utah listen to this podcast? It was stunning, and I can't remember. I'm sorry to be delaying. I didn't plan to talk about this, but here are the cities yesterday.
On the audio side.
On the audio side of the podcast.
Yeah.
Fontana, California.
To what do I owe this pleasure?
South Jordan, Utah. Hey, thanks. Denver, Salt Lake City, Layton, Boardman. Don't know where Boardman is. San Francisco, Phoenix, Syracuse, and Scottsdale, Arizona. Those are the top 10 largest markets on our podcast yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And we did, our audio podcast did something like 10, 11,000 listens yesterday. And we're starting to do that on a pretty regular basis.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing is like number one, and we should read some comments on this, but number one, I think that a good, whether it's podcast or radio, because frankly, the product is different. Podcast product is completely different than radio product.
Yes.
No matter what anybody says. I just believe that firmly. But I think no matter what, to keep people, you have to have. I just get so burned out on the monotonous talk in circles conversation that you get on the radio so consistently nowadays. Like when we were talking about this before the show, you were like, "When did you become such a big Rome fan?" And I'm like, well, I haven't been a big Jim Rome fan for decades or anything, but in the last year, yeah, I have, because what do I get from Rome? Well, it's not world-beating radio. It's not anything you haven't heard before. But I know what I'm going to get, and that's what I can count on. I'm going to probably get 2 or 3 interviews a day, which I'm going to turn off because I don't enjoy listening to them. And then I'm going to come back for the segments where he's talking about his wife or he's talking about, Bill Belichick, or he's talking about, like, he's been doing this thing as an example. He's been doing this thing on Urban Meyer lately where he's talking about Buddy needed a night out in reference to Urban Meyer's wife, and they have a whole thing about it. I know I'm getting that. And my point just is if you know what you're getting, you're going to come back. You don't know what you're going to get in this town and really in radio in general. And that's why people struggle to listen to it.
James Knight says, I know a sports podcast who talks about sports alongside relationship advice, not to mention ass vacuuming, and it's friggin' great. We do talk about ass vacuuming.
Some shit happened.
Jeremy Bolton says, good point, Tanner. That 96 team was incredible. I got to believe that's BYU. Fans want to hear about hot tub installations and the best French fries, Fat Jesus says.
Hey.
Greg Hawkins says 1 is Utah BYU, 2 is the Jazz, 3 is Utah State, 4 is high school sports, and 5 is RSL. You would put Utah State third. Maybe I'm misreading that.
I guess.
I mean, yeah. Jeremy Bolton says 1, Alex Caruso, of course. 2, BYU, Utah. 3, the Jazz. 4, go Hawks. 5 is ass vacuums, and 6 is Utah State.
My word.
That's exactly right. I don't know. I think we try hard every day to deliver on expectations, and I wish that you could turn on the radio here and get what you need.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wish.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Speaking of ass vacuums,
honey,
I did. By the way, the hot tub was delivered yesterday.
Okay. Now you had some anxieties about whether this was going to fit on the massive concrete pad that was poured like 6 weeks ago now, or whatever that was.
So we had a deck and a concrete pad built to fit this hot tub, and we haven't exactly had great contractor experiences of late. So we nailed the fit of this hot tub.
Facts.
And when we say we, I mean Wayman Brothers Construction.
Mm-hmm.
Built the deck and the concrete pad. 3 large Samoans came and delivered the hot tub yesterday.
Did they?
3 dudes carried that hot tub off the truck, through my yard, and put it on the concrete pad.
Was it tough to get it through the gate?
No, it fit perfect. More than enough. Not at all. Not difficult.
Okay.
And they put it on the concrete pad, and it fit perfectly. It was freaking amazing. Wayman Brothers Construction, God bless you. They know how to measure. And they nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. Now, my electrician can't come back till like Friday or Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to have hot tub action for another week or so. But yeah, man, the hot tub is here. It's unbelievable. And it is a week early. They told us December 12th. It is a week early. So supply chain this.
Yeah. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great when things like I've been waiting on this, I got this new MacBook so we could so we have more flexibility and we can put out more content and stuff because we don't have a lot of time. And finally it's coming. I ordered it like 4 weeks ago and they said it's going to be here the 16th, but then I looked at the FedEx email, it's going to be here Monday. So
yeah,
supply chain, I guess, is improving. I don't know.
Giggity says Jake is spot on. I come here every day for the consistent father to son dating advice. I mean, that you just know. Greg Hawkins says 3 Samoans in a hot tub. Giggity.
Y'all feel me?
Yeah, man. That's what it was. Cam Harrison beat us to our next topic.
Yeah.
Did you hear Jack in the Box is buying Del Taco for $575 million?
Okay, first thing on this is everyone's all pissed off. They think that Del Taco should be worth like $1 billion. And I'm telling you, there's no way in hell it's worth $1 billion. No way. No way, no how, not even close. No way. It does not have the branding nationally to get that done. That's the first thing. The second thing is, who actually eats at Del Taco? I mean, are there people here in the comments that eat at Del Taco consistently?
I don't.
I don't.
haven't had Del, and I think there's one down the street.
Yeah, there's one at the district next to Wendy's.
Is there a Wendy's at the district?
Yes. Are you serious?
Yeah, there's a Wendy on 4th.
4,000. It's on 4,000.
Yeah, but okay.
And then the Del Taco is right behind it.
Yeah, but that's not the district. The district's on the other side of Bangor.
I call that whole thing district. That's the district.
All right, I'm being too specific. I didn't mean
that's a district. Yeah.
I haven't been to a Del Taco in I don't know when. I don't eat much fast food. We try not to. It's probably been a year since I've eaten at Taco Bell. The last fast food I had was what's the last fast food?
McDonald's, probably McDonald's breakfast on a Saturday, I feel like.
Yeah, I guess so. We didn't eat fast food in Hawaii.
No.
Even though there was a Jack in the Box right there in Maui. Yeah, I don't know.
No, I'm curious.
I can't think of the last time has anybody here eaten it at Del Taco?
And if you have, is it good? I had Del Taco once like 10 years ago.
Jackson Graham says Del Taco is good. You're ordering wrong if you don't like it.
What do you order at Del Taco? Like, is it the breakfast game? Is it the tacos? Is it just right?
Yeah,
what do you get?
I haven't been there. Tanner Plummer says I haven't had Del Taco in 15 years.
That's what I mean. Like that's why I say like for all the people, not I don't mean people in the comments, but like I've just seen some stuff on Twitter about like how it should be valued at $1 billion. There's no way.
The Nye guy says I only eat at Del Taco when I'm constipated.
Some shit happened.
Thank you, Nye guy. Greg Hawkins says I eat at Del Taco whenever I'm in the U.S. I always eat at the one in the district because I'm from Riverton. They have the best double Del burger and better fast food Mexican than the competitors. Wow, really?
We may have to go to Del Taco.
We might have.
To just try that.
Brandon Whiteside says Rome is worse. He never talks sports. Well, I don't disagree.
Okay, I don't know that you can say that Rome never talks sports. Okay, he does talk sports. The problem is, and what burns people out, and I feel this sometimes. I'm not saying that Rome is like the Jesus Christ of radio. Is he in the Radio Hall of Fame? Sure, but I'm saying on a consistent basis, like the only reason I listen to him consistently is because I know, like, when you listen enough to his show, you start to realize that the way he does it every single day is pretty laid out. He's going to tell you when the interviews are so you can leave and you can come back. Or you can come and listen to the interviews and leave if that's what you prefer.
Yeah.
My point just is he talks sports. The problem is the interviews are just long. He does entire segment interviews instead of like 5-6 minutes, and that's what I don't like. So That's why I say it's not everyone's cup of tea. He's not the best on the radio, but I know what I'm getting, and that's why I listen to him.
Okay. Jackson Graham says, "Go Hawks."
Yeah.
He also says, "Get a burrito and put fries and hot sauce in it."
Oh.
French fries and burritos is highly underrated.
Dude, Filiberto's in Phoenix.
Fat Jesus says, "I eat at Del Taco when I only want the change I can scrape up from under my seat."
See, this is what I mean. I feel like
That's a lot of disrespect.
yeah, I mean, like
Jesus,
I don't know. I feel like Del Taco may get some unwarranted hate, but then I never eat there, so I don't know. And like we're getting mixed reviews in the comments.
Oh wow, Chris Karn makes a good point. I would rather eat from the ass vacuum than order Del Taco fries.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, that seems
Wow.
that seems aggressive. Also, their fries and churros are really good. I can say I remember when I first moved to California, like in 1997. I ate at Del Taco and I had French fries, and they were good.
Okay, now on the obscure fast food scale, White Castle or Del Taco?
Oh, White Castle. But White Castle gives you like fire butt. Like, it's not good.
Fire butt.
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah. Yeah, seriously. I mean, that butthole is in bad shape. Dude, you eat it, White Castle.
Butthole.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, they're opening up like 1,000 canes in Utah. I'm telling you, your butthole is not going to be happy about that.
Are you out of your goddamn mind?
God, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Del Taco fries or In-N-Out fries? In-N-Out fries suck.
Yeah, I'm going to take Del Taco fries, having not had them in a decade, just because I know how bad In-N-Out fries are.
The night guy says In-N-Out fries are the worst.
Yeah.
Yes. Alex says the biggest risk of Kalani leaving is Oregon will pay his guys much better. Truth.
Yes.
Jackson Graham says Checkers greater than White Castle. Yes.
Checkers. My
Checkers
God.
is great. The night guy says bubble gut and hot snakers. And hot snakes. I don't know what that means.
Facts.
Greg Hawkins says I cannot listen to this Del Taco blasphemy chat. Exactly. Jeremy Bolton says you done messed up if you eat In-N-Out fries.
Y'all want to play?
You done messed up now, Balake. I love that so much.
Where is Aaron right now?
Right? Probably dealing with his COVID too.
Mm-hmm.
And before we get out of here, we do need to talk about gift giving for your wife. Honey.
Go Hawks.
How much are you well, I can't answer.
You can't ask me. I'm single, dude.
In the comments section, what are you buying? How much are you spending on your wife for Christmas? I think this is an important question.
I really don't care if you think it's sus.
So my wife and I have an agreement not to buy gifts for each other.
But you violate that agreement every single year.
I do.
Yeah.
But I won't this year. I got her stocking stuffers, and I spent under $100 doing it.
Okay, so budget friendly. Nice job. Good work.
I think it's, yeah.
I mean, seriously, I'm not even kidding. That's pretty budget friendly.
I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, you should be.
You will see if that
we
works
need,
out.
but we need some stocking stuffer ideas. Like what else? I mean, in the comments, what are some good stocking stuffers that you have come up with?
Giggity says I put Rome on the other day, and he took a call from some guy that was talking like a dog. Hard pass.
Oh yeah, dude. It's oh my God, I know who you're talking about. I think that's funny, dude. That's funny. You see, with Rome, you can't take it so seriously. It is the shtick on that show is real,
Yeah. Tanner Plummer says I'm probably spending close to $100 on my wife. Tanner, are you married?
See?
Tanner Plummer, you're married.
Wait, Eagles fans get married?
No, I thought he was like 12.
You thought Tanner Plummer was 12?
I have no idea how old he is. I don't know. Brandon Whiteside says Rome is lame sauce for sure. Lame sauce. Greg Hawkins says I spend very little on gifts, but like to take my girlfriend out for a nice meal at high-end steakhouses.
Yes.
$400+ steak dinner. It's what she likes, and I love a good steak.
Have you been to Mastro's Ocean Club?
Yeah, well, do they have a Mastro's in the Philippines?
No, I'm just he's in Utah. He could go to Vegas.
Jeremy Bolton says, my wife just bought all new appliances in the kitchen, fridge, stove, dishwasher, and microwave. That was her Christmas, so I get a pass this year. I like it.
I'm for real.
I like it. Chris Karn says $1,500-ish.
Damn.
Well, I mean, we just spent like 10 G's in Maui. So,
but what does $1,500 get you in stocking stuffers these days? Like what? you know.
Well, I would hope it's more than the stocking.
Yeah,
stuff.
but Chris Karn listens to the show while he's laying next to his wife. He said that multiple times. So
Yeah,
I don't
Chris,
want
you
him to
can't
blow his
say what
cover.
you got,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't want to blow his cover.
Tanner says, yes, I'm married and I'm 25. I turned 25 on November 22nd.
Hey, that's our bad, man. That's our bad.
12, 25.
You know, it is what it is.
Sorry, folks, that's what it is.
Yeah, usually I spend probably $2,000 a year on my wife at Christmas.
Mm-hmm. But you spend a lot on her throughout the year. You guys spend it on each
Yeah,
other.
I
though.
spoil her all the time.
Yeah.
She deserves it.
Yeah.
My wife's a great wife.
I'm not
So,
complaining. I'm just saying, you know.
Yeah. Greg Hawkins says that's the most Utah thing I've ever heard. I got Luca's mom something real nice the night guy says. I think $1,500 is a good number
It's a good budget.
if you're able.
Yeah, that's a good budget.
Yeah, that's a very good budget. You know, like my wife is buying me Chicago Cubs spring training season tickets.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that's how it is. You already know what you're getting.
Giggity says spend a little over $200 on the wifey with different things. Okay. It's all good. I know you guys hate me because I'm an Eagles fan.
Well,
Yeah, let's go with that. We hate Tanner Plummer. Why would we hate you, Tanner? Tanner's just the guy that always is like, okay, here's a quick question. Who's the best left tackle to ever play on the practice squad in the NFL? Like, that's Tanner Plummer. Like, he comes up with, okay, listen, if you guys could have any offensive coordinator from the 40s on your team now, who would it be?
This is Coach Saban.
Yeah. That's funny. The other thing is, like, Tanner will come in with a question like, hey, you know, look, the Eagles have the Philly special. What's the greatest name for a play in the history of football?
Not a good question.
Not a good question, Tanner. Not a good question.
Tanner, we love you, bro.
No.
We're just.
Mrs. Monty is in this.
Oh boy, here we go.
Mrs. Monty, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mrs. Monty. I bought your Christmas gift. It's all done.
Is that all she said? Good morning.
She said good morning.
Oh, okay, good. Okay. I just wanted to say I wasn't sure if she made a comment about stocking stuffers or whatever.
No, she hasn't, but it is what it is. Brandon Whiteside says Rome is like a wannabe Howard Stern.
In a sense.
No, Jim Rome is as accomplished as any broadcaster in the history of sports radio. I mean, you don't have to like Jim, but he is a groundbreaker for sure. Jackson Graham says Vic's 7 TDs on Monday night. Best Eagle game ever. Jeremy Bolton says, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Giggity says, what's Jake getting his wife for Xmas? He's not married.
Not a good question.
He doesn't have a girlfriend.
Yep.
Ever.
Nope.
Tanner says, no, that's not me. I don't ask questions like that. I've only asked one question about the Eagles, and it was relevant about Jalen Hurts. Hey, guys, just a quick question. How does a penis work?
Yeah, I've been in the ass.
Don't, dude.
I'm kidding. Tanner, I'm totally kidding. But you are the guy that asks questions. Hey, hey guys, who do you think the Jazz are targeting at the trade deadline in February, even though it's like May? Like,
it's fine, dude.
It is fine.
It's fine.
It is fine.
We don't have all the answers.
You know. Mrs. Monty says, just tuned in, got my Peloton ride in.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Good job, honey.
Okay.
Church's Chicken, better than Raising Cane's.
Agreed.
Does anybody call it Raising Cane's?
Yeah, that's what it's called. Raising. Actually, they just call it Cane's. You're right. They just call it Cane's.
Tanner says, LOL, screw you, Monty. Well, look, guys. No, I'm kidding. Peter Parker or I don't know anybody from the Wizard of whatever that show.
Where is Aaron right now?
What's that movie you like with the caves and the pearls and coins or whatever? Seven, the Ring or whatever.
What?
The show with the wizards and shit where they go to school and
Harry Potter?
Yeah, that's
Jesus Christ. You know, just some movie series. You know, just some movie series.
Are you out of your goddamn mind?
I mean, just some little, you know, obscure one-off movie series.
Hey guys, just a quick question. Like, who's the best character, Peter Parker or Harry Potter?
Butthole.
You know.
He says, Tanner says, when am I not allowed to ask questions? You are. You are. That's fine. You just ask interesting questions. That's all. You know, pocket protector or pen in the back pocket. It's not disrespectful to Harry Potter.
Yes, it
No,
is,
it's
dude.
not.
Harry Potter is one of the best movie series of all time, bro.
stop
You've
it.
never even seen one of them.
And then this fish swims down the Great
Okay, we're not
Western
talking about
Highway.
Nemo, bro.
And
It's the East
you know,
Australian Current.
and he gets on the turnpike and
Jag
he
off.
winds up in Kentucky. Harry Potter is so 2004, Jackson
It
says.
is, but that
You
doesn't
know.
change the fact it's one of the best movie series of all time. Doesn't change that.
Jeremy Bolton, guys. Quick question. What was Alex Caruso's assist stat in 8th grade, and was he better than Trevor Hansen at Spanish Fork Junior High?
Y'all want to play?
Oh, man. I don't know. Why do you guys hate your listeners so much? LOL. We don't, Steve. We don't.
Steve,
We have fun with it.
please.
We do. By the way, that was Barry.
What?
Barry, the New York Giant fan, Barry
Yeah.
from Phoenix,
Yeah.
is Barry the Brigham. Barry Brigham.
Really?
Yes, he's back.
Okay.
He's back.
What was he complaining, or did he DM, or?
No, DM yesterday. I can't remember what he DM'd about.
Oh, the DM you showed me. I see. Okay.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
Giggity says, "What is Jake getting the teacher?"
Bro, I'm not dating Giggity. Come on, dude. I'm not dating a teacher, bro.
All you do is date teachers.
Yeah, next question.
Bro.
And Mrs. Monty's watching her. I would tell you what she got, but
Yeah, no, I haven't gotten her anything.
you know
yet.
what I got, Mrs. Monty? Was it a good gift?
Yes, it was a good gift. I think it was a very good gift.
It was
Yes.
actually well thought out.
I thought it was well done. Yes.
What did Mrs. Monty get you? Socks. She got me socks. Rather my eyeballs stabbed with a fork than watch Harry Potter movies. Yeah, I think
Okay, that's
Harry
fine.
Potter sucks.
Okay, listen.
Let's just be honest with
Okay,
it.
this is the same concept as the Jim Rome show. You don't have to like it, but it's one of the best movie series of all time, dude. It is.
No,
It
what's
is.
the vampire movie where everybody's hot and they all have sex with each other?
I'm not giving you the answer just based on that damn description.
Oh my god, you know what I'm talking
Twilight.
about. Twilight.
I
yeah.
never have watched any of those
Twilight
movies.
sucks.
Well, all the vampires are they're having sex and they're in the forest and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
You know. And then what are some other terrible
Lord of the
series?
Rings.
Lord of the Rings blows. Good lord. Fast and the Furious. Now that's a series I can get behind. Jake? Nothing. We should probably go. We should probably go. Screw Twilight. Exactly, Tanner.
No. They do this.
They screw in Twilight.
and
Not-
stuff. And
Copulation and back to
that's HIPAA.
Back to the Future. Exactly right. Greatest ever on BYU TV. I actually said that to my wife the other day. We flipped on. I don't remember where it was. We were flipping around looking for something to watch, and the devotionals. They were doing Christmas devotionals on BYU, I think TV or whatever it was. And my wife was like, "Oh, great!" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's BYU TV." No, I am on Harry Potter 6 with my kids. They love it.
yeah, dude.
There you go.
That's what I'm saying. It's great for kids. It is.
You know, it is what it is. It's becoming very clear why Jake's still a virgin. LOL.
I'm
Jeez,
not still a virgin. Jesus, man.
Hey,
Damn.
Hey, Jake. What are we gonna do for our date tonight? Well, listen. I was thinking
To what do I owe this pleasure?
Yeah, we could get in the Subi, and I'll drive over to your place, and we'll pop in a Harry Potter DVD, and I'll tell you all about the movie and
I'm gonna do that.
the rings and the rock and stuff, and the fish that swims down the turnpike.
I have no idea what that was.
I'll tell you all about the little details of the movie.
It is the East Australian
And-
Current.
And then we can make for dinner. I'm gonna make you like gourmet cereal. It'll be great. Is that right, Jake?
Do you guys see what I deal with?
Alex T says he's a virgin. Wow.
No,
yes.
I'm not.
Yes, he is.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. See, you tell people these lies, and it's just,
Ah!
I'm not.
Tanner Plummer says, "Don't laugh too hard, Monty. BYU TV is one of the reasons why BYU is going to the Big 12." True. Jeremy Bolton says, "Jake, quick question. What's the best ingredient that has been placed in a chicken burrito?"
French fries. French fries, dude.
Ah.
French fries.
Hey, Jake. Let's go out to dinner. What are you feeling like? On chicken burrito.
Where are we at in society today?
3 weeks later. Hey, Jake. Take me to dinner. Where do you want to go? Filiberto's.
What's up, motherfuckers?
You are what you are. Chipotle or Cafe Rio? Come on. Say it.
Chipotle.
No! Cafe Rio. If it wasn't for teachers, Jake would still be a virgin, Giggity says.
Okay, that may be true. That may be true. And I wouldn't have gotten COVID and things would be fine. But it's fine, dude. It's fine.
Okay, you can't say that. Yeah, there you go. Jeff basically said, "What's up with Jake effing teachers and how can he be a virgin?" You have
I'm
had
not
kind
a
of
virgin, okay? Please.
We're
I'm
way
not.
late, by the way.
Who cares? I'm not a virgin.
Okay, well, outside of okay, so you've how do I say this nicely? All you do is bang teachers that are
So you better
crazy,
check yourself.
or you find yourself attracted to women who like other women.
Stop.
Right? Am I wrong?
I've had some bad luck. It is what it is. It is what it is. I've had some bad luck. I mean, you know what? Like I have.
How many women have you been like, oh, you're let's smash, and she's like, oh, sorry, dude, no.
It's happened twice. It's happened twice. Like, what do you want me to say? It's not like I have a laundry list. It's happened twice.
And how many teachers have there been?
2.
7.
I think it's been 2.
Alex T says, so he is a virgin. It's true then.
No, it's not. It's not.
Well, I mean, if you can't love yourself, who can you love?
Bro, it's not true.
He's not a virgin. You're getting mad now.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying, like, what am I, like, what do you want me to say? Like, I'm not. It's
James Knight says, I have a feeling the cherry will be popped soon enough, Jake. Congrats.
Thanks, bud. Thanks.
It'll happen eventually.
I know. It'll happen eventually. I understand. Yeah, I get it.
Do you remember your first time ever?
Yeah, sure, but we're not discussing that.
Mine was on a kitchen floor, and it was incredibly awkward. I remember it.
Okay.
I remember it.
In your mom's house or what?
Yes, kitchen floor.
Interesting
My mom's
choice.
house. Well, they were, lived in a ranch. Had to do it somewhere. Wasn't allowed to take girls in my bedroom. Kitchen floor.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
See, I don't have any,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's fine. Is Jake's girlfriend watching these shows yet? He doesn't have a girlfriend.
Yet.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you gave her a diamond and emerald tennis bracelet, but you guys
It
aren't
wasn't a diamond and emerald tennis bracelet.
girlfriend. Is this real? Is Jake really a virgin?
No,
he's not.
Jesus, no. I'm
Boogie
not.
Nights is the greatest movie ever. That could be. Greatest movie ever, and then you're going to play the music.
The Dark Knight.
No, it's The Accountant.
Okay.
All right. No, I'm kidding. We watched The Accountant the other day.
Great movie.
Ed. Have you seen The Accountant? If you haven't, you're missing out. All right, Monty, you lived on a ranch? I did. Not ever. There's a one-story house is called a ranch. Tanner. Hey, Monty, you lived in a ranch? Were you a cowboy? Anyway. Good
I don't
question.
even know what to say.
I don't either. All right, with Barry White on in the background, Monty. No, actually there was. No, I'm not getting into it. I can't. I'm not getting into it. Make sure you follow us on social. The Monty Show, MONTY, The Monty Show, SLC Supercars. Until tomorrow, say peace out, virgins.
I'm not a virgin. Get out of here.